Okay, so welcome everybody, and it's so good to have you on the introduction part of web development series. And today we're going to be starting with HTML, and I'm going to be taking you through what HTML is, the elements that form of the HTML, and how to write your first HTML code. So you're also going to create your first HTML page on this lecture. So welcome. So what is HTML? HTML actually just stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. So for all of the web pages that we see out there are all created by HTML Hypertext Markup Language. So it's just a language that describes the structure of a web page. So then also another thing I want to explain with you is going to be what elements and what tags are also because when you're writing HTML, we're going to be using HTML elements. So there are various and there are different types of HTML elements, which I'm going to be explaining in practical section. And what an HTML element just actually means is a combination of starting tag and the HTML content and the ending tag. So every HTML element starts with an HTML tag. So for example, if we're using an heading tag or we're using a paragraph tag, it's all going to have the beginning tag, which is known as the opening tag, the content itself that you want to display on the website, and we have the closing tag. Well, you're going to understand all this in the practical section just now. And if you're trying to look for further information about HTML, W3 Schools is one of the best website out there for you to be able to learn HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and some deep other knowledge about programming. So the next thing we want to do now is that we want to download what we know as the IDE. It's known as the Integrated Development Environment. So this is a tool that we're going to be using to code our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I want you to come down to sublimetext.com, and you come down here to download, and immediately you'll see your version for if you're using OS version, if you're using Windows, if you're using Linux as well. So I'm using the Windows machine, and I'll just click on Windows 64-bit and your download is going to start. But I've already downloaded this before, so I don't need to download the other again. So I can just cancel that and come right here and open my Sublime text. So welcome. So welcome everybody. I'm really glad to have you here. So this is going to be the first lecture for our practical course in HTML, CSS, and fully web development in full. So if you followed my last lecture, you would know to download Sublime Text. And if you have downloaded Sublime Text, once you open it, this should be the first thing you should see. If you don't see this, click on Ctrl N or come to File and create a new file right here. So let us just dive in immediately. We are going to be creating our first web page, and we're going to do that right now. So the next thing we want to do right here is to come here to HTML and indicate to your IDE Sublime Text that you're going to be writing an HTML document. So you click this, and there's a little trick I always do. You click on HTML and click on the tab key on your desktop or your laptop. So once you click on that, it will bring out some pre-existing HTML elements, and I'm going to be explaining what these are. Now, you see this is document type HTML. It's just trying to tell you that this is a document type and it's HTML. So it's just indicating what this document is all about. Then this tag right here is an HTML tag. This is the opening tag and this is the ending tag. It's just trying to indicate that whatever goes into between this tag and this tag right here is going to be an HTML, are going to be HTML elements rather. So the next thing is the head. Anything that goes in between the head is going to be shown at the header side in your web browser. So I'm going to be explaining that pretty much later. And as you can see, title. So all the titles you see on your browser, this is what it's doing. This is the element that is used to put titles on the browser. And this body right here is the most important thing when writing your HTML document, because everything that goes to the website, everything you see, you view on the website, images, text, and everything, they are all enclosed and they all are written in between the body elements. So this is the body beginning and this is the closing of the body. So let's start coding. So let's save this document right here. Let's just click on Control S right there and save as my first HTML document. So I just, you can save it to anything you want to save it as, but I just want to save it as my first HTML document. So I was saving it there, and try to take note, I'm saving it in my desktop. You can save it anywhere you want to, but make sure you take note of the places or the directory where you're going to be saving your HTML document. So right here, let us start coding HTML. So the first element I want to introduce to you is going to be the H1 element, and the H1 element is just as it says, heading 1 element. So this is used to give heading on the website. So I could say this is an heading, and for the second one I could just duplicate and put in H2 element, and I can put in H3 elements here, and I can put in H4, and let's just copy and paste this right here. Want to see that, want to read that. So the next element I want to explain to you is going to be the P tag. So this tag is known as the paragraph element. So it is used to write paragraphs on the web page. Every text that goes on the web page that has to be with paragraphs or sentences are written by P tag. So see, it doesn't have meaning, but it's just there so that we can be able to use it. So, and the last element I'm going to explain it to you before we preview is going to be the image. Yes, the image. So it is very easy for you to put an image out there on your website. So, but before I do that, let us first preview what these are. So, Control save that document and just open in the browser. So, when you preview on your browser, this is exactly what you're going to see. So, let us start from. There was one more thing we didn't do. Let us try to do that so I can be able to explain that to you. So in the title, just put in a title. Let's my first HTML as my title. Control save that, and I want you to see right here that it puts the title here, my first HTML document, and when you overview this, it will show you the title. And when you control save that, you're going to see my first HTML doc over here. So right here you see this is an heading. This is an heading just as we have written it right here. And well, the only difference is that the more it increases, the more it reduces. That is, the more it increases as 2, 3, 4, the more it reduces it. So what it's just trying to explain is that H1 is the largest in heading 1, the heading 2 is smaller than heading 1, heading 3 is smaller than heading 2, and we have up down to heading 6. So there's still heading 5 and there's heading 6. You can always try that later. So and the paragraph right here, you can see it puts the paragraph on the website. So you have been able to complete your first web page. So now the next thing is we want to put an image, and if you've been able to do this, meet me up in the next lecture. Right? Now we want to put an image on our web page, and all we need to do is to use this image element right here. So now this image element has an src function which is trying to let the IDE know that this is where we want to locate our image from. So now if you take a look at my folder, which is the HTML folder where I saved our web page. Now it depends on where you save your web page, but right here is where I save mine. Now the image I want to get is in this image folder, which is the img. So all I just need to do is to put input in the src right here, is to input inside the src right here the name of the folder where I want to locate my image from, and the name of the image itself. So slash the name of the image, which is image1.jpg. And if I save that right there and I open in my browser, then you see that so when you open in the browser, and now you see how big this image is, and the image is already on the browser. So but we can be able to resize this with HTML as well, and all you just need to do is to come right here and probably give it an height of 250 pixels and a width of 250 pixels as well. Then when we control save there and come back, you will see how easy everything is on that HTML and how easy it is to respond to your code. So now we have been able to do that, but as well I have another image right here, so I would like to duplicate this, and just for you to be able to understand. So if I duplicate this, and but this image right here now is a PNG image. So and the name of the image is family. Control save, and so now we see we have the heading. We have been able to put the paragraph, and we have also been able to put an image. So now you also try this